Hello you guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. On this video, I'm going to be talking about contingencies. It's going to be everything you need to know about contingencies in real estate. So make sure you're paying attention because whether you're on the buyer side or the seller side, these things are totally key and totally critical to making sure that your deal not only goes through, but has a favorable outcome and one that you are happy about and can live with. So pay attention. This is going to be kind of a deep dive, but we're going to get right on in. One thing I do want to get ahead of is if you are watching this in a state other than Nevada, or your real estate deal or anticipated real estate deal is going to happen somewhere outside of the state of Nevada. I'm only licensed here, so the laws may be different elsewhere, so I just kind of wanted to put that disclaimer out there. Some of this may be useful information to you anyway, so you can keep watching, but as far as what I'm telling you, this is per Nevada real estate law. So in the state of Nevada, there are three main contingencies that every residential real estate deal is subject to. There is one kind of extra or bonus one, and I will get to that at the end, so make sure that you keep watching. But the three main contingencies that are part of every deal are inspections, appraisals, and financing. So we'll just dive right in. I'm going to go in order, so make sure you stay with me. So the first one, inspections, and now if we're doing a home, it would be like home inspection. There are all kinds of home inspections that can be done, but we're talking about actually physically examining the home by a licensed inspector and getting a report. If you are purchasing or selling vacant land, there are kind of its own bunch of inspections that you would want to do there. But in any case, inspections of the property are one of the main contingencies in a real estate deal. You definitely want to take advantage of this due diligence option. Even when the market was like COVID era hot and people were, buying homes with all cash sight unseen from other places, I was still advising clients, please don't skip the home inspection, because you just don't know until you have it looked at what could be wrong with a home. And inspections uncover all kinds of things, and some of them not so important. Some of them are cosmetic things that, hey, you could fix it yourself or you didn't really care about anyway. But some of the things that could be found on a home inspection are things like foundation cracks, black mold, the home needs a new roof, really big, expensive things that would probably deter you from wanting to buy the home or position you to negotiate with the other party to have some of the cost, or all of the cost in some cases, of that major expense covered. So definitely do not skip your inspections and your due diligence. It is probably, in my opinion, one of the more important contingencies, though they are all important. So basically what's going to happen, let's say it's a residential home that you're buying, you're going to have a home inspection done, you will have a deadline for that contingency. So let's say that your airhead real estate agent, which obviously isn't me, skips that deadline or misses it, or they don't have your inspection performed for you in time to meet the deadline. Well, guess what? Your deal's no longer contingent on the home inspection. So you really want to make sure that whoever you're working with is paying close attention to those deadlines. If it's me, I watch them like a hawk. I actually schedule home inspections immediately. I attend every single one of them. A lot of agents will just let the inspector in and then be like, send me the report later, thanks. It's a waste of my time, but it's really not. I think it's so important to not only be there and make sure that nothing, the home inspector could be on the roof and the front door's unlocked and somebody walks in. Any number of things could happen. But on top of that, I really like to understand when the inspector's going through everything at the end, what he's found and what it means and what his best advice would be in order to remedy whatever's wrong. So definitely make sure you have that done. At that point, the people I work with typically furnish the report within 24 hours or one business day. So you'll end up with this really long, really seemingly scary report of everything that's wrong with the house that they found. And don't be afraid, it's not that scary. And if you don't know this about me, my dad is actually a retired home inspector, so I grew up going to all these home inspections with him as a child. So it's not that scary. It is really important though. And the best part about this for the buyer is once you have this report, depending on how your offer was written, all of these items now become, means for negotiating a better price, a credit, a, repair, any of the above can be used to get you a better deal. So you're not going to want to skip the home inspection. Let's jump into financing. Now, within your offer contract, there are also going to be financing contingency deadlines as far as like how long you have to actually formally submit your loan application, how long you have to actually lock in loan terms. But overall, the whole deal is contingent on you being able to get financing, right? So like if you can't pay for the home, then like the seller can put it back on the market. So that one's kind of obvious. It's like if you can't get financing, you can't buy the home. With cash deals, however, that is sometimes waived or it just isn't included because the idea is that you're paying all cash. So in that case, your down payment or like the amount that you're gonna have to bring to closing is gonna be the full amount. Now let's talk about the appraisal contingency. This is something in our market that's ordered by the lender typically. If you are making a cash offer and you don't care what the appraised value is, you can certainly waive it, and in some cases you can even waive it when you are using financing, but you do need to get approval from your lender. And different kinds of loans require different kinds of appraisals, and the appraisers are going to flag different things depending on what kind of loan you are financing the purchase with. So that being said, aside from all those details, a lender can't actually fund a loan for more than an appraised amount. So let's just say that you offered $510,000 on a home and the appraisal came back at $500,000. Well, now you've got this $10,000 gap. What's gonna happen? Because your lender can only give you $500,000. So what's gonna happen is either the seller has to say, okay, you know what? The appraiser said it's only worth $500. We'll just knock it down to $500. Or they're gonna say, well, you agreed to pay me $510 and I want the $510. I really feel like it's actually worth that. I don't care what this appraiser says. You need to come up with that $10,000, and you're gonna have to call your aunts and uncles and grandparents and get that $10,000. Or a lot of times what will happen is there will be some kind of meet in the middle solution. Like, okay, we'll take 505, and you'll be like, okay, I can come up with $5,000 more from X, Y, and Z place. So the appraisal does become very important, especially this was really true in the COVID era when homes were selling for way over their listing price. It was always kind of a nail biter to see if the home would appraise for that amount. And people were having to get very creative with how they were bridging that appraisal gap. And as promised, there is kind of like a fourth contingency. I wouldn't necessarily call it a contingency because it's not like a formal one, but it is something that your entire purchase is contingent on. And this is if you are purchasing property that is within a common interest community. You'll see this if you're looking on Zillow or on an MLS sheet from your agent or whatever else, it's gonna say CIC. That stands for Common Interest Community, aka the HOA, aka the Karen Committee, as some people refer to all HOAs. But basically, I get this all the time. I'll work with a buyer who will say, I love the house, I love this, I love that, I don't mind the HOA dues, but like what's in the HOA bylaws? Like, am I allowed to have an RV? Am I allowed to have a pit bull? Am I allowed to have a giraffe? I don't know. Well, I don't know because it's not my job to know, but what I can tell you and what I tell all of these beautiful clients of mine is that the sellers have a very small window to order those. It's 5 days from an accepted offer. So they'll be working with the escrow office and you will get the CIC resale package is what it's called. You're gonna get all those documents that you will have an opportunity to read through. So you'll have 5 days from receiving them. They have 5 days from accepted offer to order them. You have 5 days from receiving them to inform the other party whether or not, you're gonna move forward. So if there's something in there that's like, sorry, you can't have a giraffe in your backyard, and you're like, well, darn it, this isn't gonna work for me. Well, as long as you say that within 5 days, you can back out of the deal without any penalty. So that's kind of like a little bonus contingency that's not really a contingency, but it is built into the Nevada law to protect the buyer. And on the seller side, if you know that your home's in a CIC community, it is a really good practice to just go ahead and order those docs right away as soon as you know that you're gonna sell. Like if you're sure you're gonna sell, you're putting your house on the market, there's no way that you're gonna pull it off the market, just spend a few $100s and pull those docs and have it have your agent put it in the documents tab right on the listing. That way it just clears the air. There's no like, I don't know, I might back out if I can't have a giraffe situation. That's all I have for you guys today about contingencies. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have further questions, do not hesitate. Or if you have any questions in general about the real estate market, or if you're thinking about buying or selling, I would love to be a resource for you. You can book a free, no obligation call using the link in the description box below. It's just an opportunity for us to hop on the phone and connect and see if we might be a good fit to work together. Also, I will answer your questions and help you devise a strategy with your next and best steps. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please hit that like and that subscribe button. I put out new videos every single week about the Reno Sparks lifestyle, the Northern Nevada housing market, and all things related to buying and selling real estate. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.